Hey, it's me, Team Farrell, back from 3 Skill with a new update for the Ivygen Plus plugin for Cinema 4D. So Ivygen Plus is a Ivy and Hedge generator for Cinema 4D. And since the previous version, it was a little bit buggy, so some little bugs were implemented here, so I apologize for that. So let's head over to this figure and quickly see what the new features are. So there were a few bug fixes here in the instance mode when this was selected. So the textures were not applied to, and also the if the leaves are in custom mode, you use custom leaves, and the leaves have had a nested structure, so this was also a little bit buggy here. So, and also other bugs here with positioning of the leaf. So when you drag, for instance, the spline in the 3D space and something. So yes, this was a bit off. So this forced me to rewrite this Ivygen Plus plugin from scratch partially. So now it is also a little bit more performant in my opinion, but there's still some things in it. I removed this opportunity to use primitives as custom leaves. At the moment there is a little bit, I have some problems with that, so maybe in the next update I will try to re-implement this. At the moment this is removed, but I have also implemented new features here. So as I already said, partially recoded it from scratch. So, and also now I implemented a new feature, the taper effect for the leaves, and a leaves growth effect. So this is also animatable and also a hot desired feature, and also a growth effect for the branch. So let's not talk about it too much and let's head over to Cinema 4D and see Skyblocks in action. So here in Cinema 4D, you can find the Ivygen plugin here in the extension menu. When you have downloaded it from Digistore, please install it into your preferences folder, into your Maxon App Data Roaming folder here. You can install into the plugins folder the folder which corresponds to your Cinema 4D version. When we start Ivygen for the first time, it says that it has to write the paths for the textures into the global path settings. So I have renamed Ivygen, so you will end up here with another path here. So please delete the old paths. So from now on, Ivygen will be just called Ivygen Plus, and for this version here. So yeah, sometimes you have to delete the old paths. So here, this is not longer required here. So this is a new path. So sometimes this happens here. Okay, now Ivygen is ready. So this path is necessary to load the textures and materials, because the materials using local paths, not absolute paths. Okay, so this is just a short tutorial to show the new features here. So you can see it looks pretty the same as before. There are new features now and it's a little bit more structured here. And yeah, I quickly create here a cube and simply begin here to draw, choose here from spline and say here sketch branches. Now I switch to my spline pen tool and I can quickly draw here an ivy into my thing here. So it looks a little bit unspectacular. I give it here a procedural leaf material here. Since we are in version 2026, it uses automatically the redshift materials, yeah, and also a branch material. I give it the branch material, and now I add here a little bit of diffusion with a diffuser here, so give it a little bit more volume here, and also increase the leaves. And I have here quickly created a ivy. So, and let's now head over to the new features here. So the leaves taper effect. So in this example, it's not very easy to see the taper effect. So let's create a new ivy. I draw a simple spline here. and reduce a little bit as okay, yeah, and reduce quickly the diffuser here. As you can see here, we have now the leaves taper effect here. So here's the strength of the taper. You can see when at the end of the branch, the leaves are gradually reducing their size. And this strength is 100%. I have set it here to 60%. And the end determines when the end should start here. So maybe here, yeah. And the start also determines when the grow effect starts from the end. I need a strength. You can add here a taper effect here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And in combination with the branch settings, the branch tab, you can also turn on the branch taper. You can see the branch taper has here at the end also a taper effect. You can determine it here. So this looks pretty cool. Also the leaves gradually reducing their size, and the branch also reduces its size at the end of the branch. And as well, I have also here at the beginning a branch taper here. You can also determine a branch taper effect at the beginning. Sometimes this is necessary, sometimes not. Here, for instance, the branch is too big. Here you can see the branch is too big here. So you could also use here taper effect for the branch here at the beginning here. So maybe like this. Looks a little bit better sometimes. Yeah, and this is the new feature, the new taper effect for leaves. And last but not least, here also a growth effect for the branch itself. You can see there's a grow effect for the branch. Unfortunately, at the moment, this is just working as you know it from splines and sweep NURBS. So it grows sequentially. So the first segment, then the second segment of the spline you have drawn. And then we have also a leaves growth effect here. This is the same. So let's quickly create leaves here. And first of all, you can determine when the leaves should start. Sometimes you want to let the leaves start just a little bit later on the branch, yeah, like this. And here's the grow effect for which you can animate. So let's say, as you can see at the moment, it grows every segment simultaneously here. So when you can see every segment is growing the leaves now, and you can switch this to complete. So then it grows every segment, every branch step by step. So first it grows the first branch, then the second branch here. Yeah. What you also can do is you can use also, instead of using this grow effect here, you can see, you can also, because this growing is static, you can also use here the leaves taper to let it grow here. Simply, you can reduce this to about 5%. So, and then you can simply, for instance, then they gradually growing here and gradually increasing their size. So this is also possible. So you can see they dynamically growing here instead of using this one here. Yeah, this is also possible. Okay, and this leaf start here is good, for instance, if you, let's say you have here a turtle spline, for instance. Let's say here, let's create a mole spline, switch to turtle, or let's grow it one time and use this turtle spline as it's a little bit small. This turtle spline, let's resize it a little bit, and use this turtle spline as a spline for the Ivygen. And as you can see, when you now increase the leaves, for instance, let's reduce a little bit the size here. You can see the leaf already start here at the beginning of the branch. So therefore is this leaf start here in the leaves growth section. You can simply let the leaves start later, so you can use it also to simply quickly create here some trees here like this, and also create here some fruits here. And also this fruits and blossom section here also uses the same taper and growth effects as the leaves. Yeah, so we use here now fruits, for instance. As you can see now, also fruits here. Yeah, and this is a quick tree, for instance. So yes, these were the new features. So the new taper effect, the growth settings for the leaves, and the growth effect for the branch as well. So I hope you have fun and we see us in the next video. Yes, goodbye.